Hey, sports fans, Louis Diamond back in our Las Vegas studios with BettorCenter Live, and we are here to get you all the information on today's baseball game that you need to make yourself a winner. So let's get right at it. And let's start with what could be a fantastic series for us here right now, and that is going to be with the Boston Red Sox. They are traveling to the New York Yankees. Pomeranz on the mound for the Red Sox. Tanaka on the mound for the Yankees. Tanaka opens up a $1.15 favorite, gets a little steam to a $1.20. The over goes from 9 over minus 20 to 9 under minus 15. So we got a little bit of a steam on the under in this matchup. And actually, I'm now live seeing some 8.5, so we've just gotten a drop on the game. So currently we have Pinnacle still at 9 under minus 27, and Bet Online 9 under minus 30. But we got an 8.5 over minus 20 at bookmaker.net, and an 8.5 here in Vegas at the Westgate. So we're definitely seeing some action on the under in this play. And as I said, the Red Sox, they put themselves in a position to take over first place. The only problem is they got to beat the Yankees to do that. So great series, battle for first place. Yankees currently there. Red Sox have a chance to get there. 50-50 team on the road as they are 14-15 this season. 10-4 their last 14 overall, while the Yankees 17-8 at home this season, and the last 41 games 28-3 at home. And when Tanaka's on the mound, 16-5 his last 21 starts, his last 21 home starts, but he's 0-4 his last 4 starts. So, and a little bit of negative there, but the under comes in a little bit of a play here. You can see why the steam is going on it, and that's basically because Pomeranz is 9-2 to the under on the road, and the Yankees are 5-1 to the under at home, 6-1 head-to-head in New York. But Tanaka's got 8-3 to the over so far this season, 6-4 to the over versus Boston. So I'm laying off of the steamed under, but the under seems to be the play. If it weren't for Tanaka, I'd definitely be on it. And the Red Sox 0-5 last 5 meetings. So I'll be leaving this game alone here today. So let's get right on to the next game of the day, and that is going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Baltimore Orioles in an interleague matchup. And Nova is on the mound for Pittsburgh. Gausman on the mound for Baltimore. Gausman opens up a $1.25 favorite, went down to $1.20, up to $1.30. And as I look right now live, I get a line of mostly about $1.25 seems to be the average line for Baltimore right now. Personally, I'm on Baltimore here today. I see that as a 2-unit emerald play for us today. And, Baltimore, after losing their hold on second place, I think bounces back here today. They're in a good spot with a pitcher that they have a lot of confidence in. Total on the game is 9. It got a little bit of a steam to the to the over, as it's 9 over minus 20 right now. And so, like I said, Baltimore minus $1.25 is my play on the side. Pittsburgh 26-55 in their last 81 interleague games versus a righty, and 5-1 when Nova has a quality start in his next appearance. But Baltimore, strong home team, 19-10 at home, 25-9 in the interleague games. Home interleague games even better, 37-14, and 22-10 their last 32 home games overall. And Gausman, when he's at home, the Orioles are 16-5 his last 21 home starts. So I think we got some nice value at minus $1.25 for Gausman. It's a 2-unit emerald play that I am releasing. If you want to see how I release my plays, BettorCenter.com will document all my plays. I rate everything, and plays go from 1 to 10-unit plays. This is what I call the 2-unit emerald play. And that is Baltimore, minus $1.25. The over is 8-3-1 for the Pirates the last 12 games, but 9-2 for the Orioles, their last 11 home games to the under. So a little bit of a mixed stuff there. 8-2 for the last 10 to the over, but the last time they played was 2014. And the Pirates are 1-6 the last 7 meetings, but once again, it's been a while since they've played, so it's tough to put a lot of merit into those. But I put a lot of merit into the Baltimore being a solid home play today, minus $1.25 with Gausman on the mound. And let's see if we can pick up a couple of units there. Let's move on to the next game. That'll be the Chicago White Sox with Quintana on the mound. And they are playing the Tampa Bay Devil Rays at Tampa Bay. Archer on the mound. $1.60 favorite for Archer. Not a guy you really want to back too often. He's certainly not your muscle pitcher. With the we'll get to his record here in a minute. Total is went from 8 under to 7.5 under. And let's see if we got anything live moving on that game right now. It's still 7.5 under, minus $1.20. And both teams are trying to turn their fortunes around after a rough weekend for both of them. White Sox are 5-16 their last 21 road games, 0-5 their last 5 overall. Quintana 3-7 on the road, 0-9 in the first game of the series. But the Rays don't give you anything to work with either. 1-4 the last 5, 6-13 for Archer in his last 19 turf starts. So like I said, you really don't want to back either side in this game. And the Rays are the over is 23-9 for the Sox on the road versus a righty. The under 7-3 for Quintana's last 10 starts overall. I'm going to pass this game away also and move right on to the next game where I think I got a nice solid winner for us. And that's going to be with the Los Angeles Angels. And they are traveling to the Detroit Tigers. And the Tigers open up a $1.40 favorite. They're steamed up to $1.55. And on the mound, we have, for the Tigers, we got Norris on the mound. And then on the mound for the Angels, we have Chavez. And current line back down to about $1.45, $1.50. So steam on the Tigers, a little bit coming back on the Angels. The total has opened up at 9. It opened up at 9 over. We're still looking at a 9 over. And we'll see what happens with the Tigers after they get their first sweep of the season. My play is certainly going to be on the total. I'll get that in a minute. So 1-4 for the Angels, their last 5 road games. 1-4 for Chavez's last 5 road starts. So not good news for the Angels going in today. Tigers, a little bit of good news. 4 straight wins, 16-5, following a day off. But Norris is 1-4 at home his last 5 games. And the Angels, they muscle them, they bully them, they beat them. 25-8 the last 33 meetings against the Tigers. So I'm going to leave the side alone. I'm going to play the total in this game. And Tigers are 6-1 to the over their last 7 overall. You'd think I'm playing the over today, but that's not going to be the case. I'm definitely going to be rolling on the under. I see that as my only negative is the Tigers on a little bit of an overrun right now. But the under is 34-16-1 for the Angels on the road, 20-10 to the under this season. So another team that you kind of want to ride to the under on the road, see how they go, find them in a good little spot. I think this is a decent little spot. 15-7 during the first game of the series to the under, 5 straight unders in Detroit, 8-2 to the under the last 8 meetings. So I definitely am playing the under here with the Angels, and the total is, I got it at 9.5 earlier. That game, I'm sorry, I did not have it at 9.5. I did have it at 9.5 for a minute, but it is a solid 9 across the board. So I look for that to be a 5-unit winner in my executive club. The under with the Angels and the Tigers. And if you can get 9.5, great, but I'm pretty sure you might have only seen it for a little bit. It may come back here a little bit later on today. Next game is also going to be another play for me. It's also going to be another executive game for me. And this time it's going to be an over on a play. And that's going to be with the St. Louis Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds. Kind of picked that one off yesterday nicely. Thought that they steamed a little bit too hard, too fast. And the value was going to be on the under. Didn't think it was a huge play, but I saw some value in the under, and the under was a winner. I'm not seeing it today. I definitely see the over. A 5-unit executive play means a half of an executive play for me. My 10-unit play is my top executive play. And mainly because Wainwright has been pitching like a stud, but even though he's pitching like a stud, he's still been in over games, so he's been getting some run support. So the Cardinals 3-7, their last 10 overall. So tough to be backing them right now. And the total, as I said, 9 up to, it opened up at 9, under -20, and now we got 9.5 over -20. So a lot of steam on the over early, so it may be a little bit too early to be, or a little bit too late, but I'd still probably play it a little bit for the 9.5. Cardinals, like I said, over in Wainwright's 7 out of his last 10, 11 on the road, 11 out of his last 15 overall. Reds 6-3 to the over at home. So I'm seeing some reasons to be on this over here today. Cardinals, Wainwright has been he's been a stud for him. 81 starts, 55 wins, 26 losses, 7-3 on the road, and as I said, pitching real well right now. And the Reds 2-5, their last 7 overall, so not doing very well overall. So I'm definitely going to be on the over here today, as I said, with the Cardinals and the Reds. And let's get to the biggest play of the day, at least in my opinion. It is with the Philadelphia Phillies and the Atlanta Braves, and of course, you know me, over City. So that is the place to be when you're talking about these two teams. And Garcia's on the mound for the Braves. He's opens up at -$1.35. But this game has been steamed heavily on the Philadelphia Phillies. They've been steamed all the way up to -$1.05. Now, been back to Atlanta, back to -$1.05 to $1.10. So a lot of steam early on the Phillies, then over adjusted back to the Braves. Total opens up at 8.5, and I think you better grab that before that hits 9. I'm pretty sure by the end of the day that will hit 9. As I said, this is an executive play for me. It's a 10-unit play over the 8.5. 5-1 for the Phillies to the over. Their last 6, 19-7-1. Their last 27 road games to the over, and they got the pitching going over today as well, as Nola is 11-4. His last 15 starts to the over. And the Braves, you know they're studs at home, over 34-16-2. Their last 52 home games to the over. And you know they're hitting 65% overall their last 100 games. So we're always looking to play those Braves over. It looks like we got them under the 9 again. So I will certainly be on that as well today. And I will see that as the biggest play of the day with the over, with the Phillies and the Braves. And the total, 8.5. Get it before it goes to 9. Your next game on the board, I don't have any action on it, but we got a little bit of information that you may consider to be interesting, because the Giants are once again at the Brewers. They have absolutely dominated the Brewers, and they're a nice dog again today. Open up a $1.40 favor with Anderson on the mound. Total goes from 9 over down to 9, so we got a little bit of a play on the under, but definitely got some early steam on San Fran. $1.40 down to $1.30. And obviously the reason why, Giants continuing domination, 16-5 the last 21 meetings, versus Milwaukee, even on a cold spell, as they're 2-5 on the road and 2-5 overall, and 6-16 versus a righty on the road, 4-10 when Kane's on the road, though, his last 14 starts. So you're still not getting anything to back these Giants, outside of the fact that they totally own Milwaukee. And the Brewers are cold right now as well. 3-7, their last 10 home starts. So what's the advantage for the Brewers today? One little advantage. Anderson 5-1 following a quality start. So maybe a little shot in the arm for the Brewers there today, but I certainly wouldn't bet on it. Do I want to keep on betting just the simple fact that they've dominated them, beaten them 16 out of the last 21 games? That's not something I think there's better stuff out there today, and that's really kind of where it ends with me with this game. So Kane, though, he's been over 18 out of his last 26 road starts, 6 unders, 2 pushes, 5 out of his last 7. And the Brewers at home, 19-9 to the over. But as we talked about, they are on an under run. And Anderson, even though the Braves have gone over at home, Anderson has been their under spot as he's 8-3-1 to the under at home. So a lot of mixed bag of tricks again in this game. Got an under umpire today with Conroy, 17-6-1 to the under. His last 24 behind home plate. I'll be passing on this game. I'm going to move on to the next game. The game that I thought was going to be your best play of the day turned out to be a sharp loser, even though they got 3 quick runs. The Marlins and the Cubs certainly fell well short of going over. Cubs now are shooting for their 5th straight win, and their 7th in a row at home tonight against the Marlins. They are $1.85. They've moved up to $2. The total opens up 7.5, and right now it's still at 7.5. The Marlins 7-2, their last 9 overall, and 3-8 though on the road, and 4 straight wins. So for the Cubbies, and the Marlins obviously lose yesterday. 6-2 to the for the Cubs, their last 8 home games versus a lefty. And when Arrieta gets on the mound, the Cubs win the ball game, 46-21. Their last 67 starts. Paying the price today, 2-1, and he's won at a little bit of a higher pace than 2-1. So the Cubs, 17-8 for Arrieta at home. So once again, 2-1 shot there. So the price is right, but he's probably going to win. So maybe something you want to tie into a parlay. The over for the Marlins are 19-7-5 their last 31 road games versus a righty, 11-5-2 their last 18 road games. But Cubs, who will probably dominate this game, 6-1 to the under, their last 7 overall. But 4 out of 5 home starts for Arrieta have gone over, 7 out of 3 his last 10 starts overall. And so I am not feeling a play on this game. Feel you got to lay the price for Chicago. 6 straight wins against the Marlins. Arrieta on the mound, 2-1, 2-2-10. They win 2 out of 3 in this scenario. So I would have to venture to say that the money is for the Cubs in a parlay, pretty much, and not much value anywhere else. Next game on the board is going to face the New York Mets. They are playing the Texas Rangers. DeGrom on the mound for the Mets. $1.35 favorite opener, and he got steamed. He was at $1.50 live, and I'll get you a live line because that's what we can do when we are live. And currently a live line, I'm seeing a lot of $1.45 to $1.55, as high as $1.55 over here at the Wynn in Las Vegas right now. And I'm here seeing them as low as $1, looks like $1.43 at 5 dimes offshore. So this is, again, an executive play for me today. It's a nice, it's going to be a nice 10-unit play. I think it's going to be a solid winner for us. And it's real simple, guys. It's the Mets, and we're always going to play the Mets over until something drastic happens, like 3-4 unders in a row. Until then, over, even 9.5. So you got to get them early. It opened up 9. If you didn't bet them early, shame on you. You need to know. They're going to move. It's going to get steamed over. And the days that it doesn't, it shouldn't really matter too much because you're going to make up for it the days that it does because it hangs around 8.5 a lot, 9, and 9.5. So you definitely want to get on that as soon as possible. So you want the 9 if you can. We're currently at 9.5. We're still playing it because the Mets are monsters to the over. And 15-3-3 their last 21 road games, 34-11-8 their last 53 overall, 5 straight overs for DeGrom, 6-1-1 for the Rangers over at home, and interleague games versus a righty, 7-3 to the over for the Rangers, 5 straight overs head to head. So lots of reasons to be on the over in this game, even if you got to lay the 9.5. The Mets, they're 6-1 their last 7 interleague games, but 2-7 on the road. DeGrom is a shining spot for him, 5-2 his last 7 starts. 7 straight wins for the Rangers at home in an interleague matchup, 19-7. Their last 26 interleague games altogether. And so they do well in the interleague matchups, but their last 10 games versus a righty, 2-8 for the Rangers. So not seeing much of a side, but I certainly, absolutely, positively see an over with the New York Mets and the Texas Rangers today, even as high as 10.5. Next game on the board is going to face the winner. We had a nice winner for you there yesterday with the Astros. And once again, you got to look at the Astros again. There's got to be some value there. So maybe a parlay with the Astros into the Cubbies. $2 favorite, $1.45 favorite. You're still picking up some, a unit and a half for a unit investment. Astros 39-13, their last 52 overall, 36-15 on the road. We're going to talk about it every day because you need to stick that in your head, because when you get up every day and say, Houston, I want to think about a way to get them into my arsenal. Royals, I want to figure out a way to get them out of my arsenal and against them. So, but one shining spot for the Royals, 11-5 their last 16 following a loss. So that'll give you something to think about. But you still want to be on the Astros in a play like this, or find a way to use them personal. The over is 4-1-3 for the Astros, their last 8 overall, 7-2-3 their last 12 road games. But Royals 19-8-1 their last 28 home to the under, 29-14 their last 44 on grass with a push. So to the under. So I will leave that total alone. I will find a way to use the Houston Astros today with a little bit of action in a parlay with the Cubbies. Let's see if we got any more. Stick around. Indians, Rockies will be the next game on the board. And Clevinger for Cleveland. And he opens up minus $1.10. See him up to $1.20. And as I look live right now, between $1.15 and $1.20, game opens up at 11, bounces back to 10.5, back up to 11. And now we are seeing 10.5 over seems to be the number. And I could see why they would want to be betting this game under. So definitely see an edge with the under in this matchup. Indians, they're 17-8. Their last 25 road games versus a righty. 14-38, though, in the interleague road games versus a team with a winning record. When Colorado's gotten their winning record down the road, that's where they've done most of their winning. So, and they are not successful in the interleague either. 31-72, their last 103 interleague games. So scratch any interleague advantage. And Indians 3-7. You may want to back a little bit of Colorado, see a little steam of Colorado, because they're a little bit of a hotter team right now. But the under, as I said, seems to be the play. 17-6-3 for the Indians on the road, their last 26. 33-16-3, their last 52 following a win. Clevinger, he's 9-2 to the under overall, 4-1 to the under on the road. And in Colorado, 5-1-1 to the under, their last 7 meetings. So we